Hi folks, Nine Toe Nelson here, and I am up to something. And for those of you who are keen, you may realize that whatever it entails, it's not happening on my motorcycle. I am currently driving on what's going to turn out to be about a 1,200 mile trip, and should take just shy of 24 hours the way I have things planned. And in the long run, the question is going to be, was it worth it? I'm going to leave that up to you guys to decide, but I think it will be. So tag along and let's see what comes of this. Oh, and one more thing. I owe you guys a story. I hit my 100 subscriber mark not too long ago, and I promised to provide you the tale of how I earned my name of Nine Toe Nelson. So stick around for that, and I should be able to provide you a fairly interesting story, I hope. Alright guys, we'll catch up with that. See you soon. Alright, I am about an hour out from my destination, and everything has gone pretty well. The only hiccup was a long backup on the road due to a crash. So things moved very slowly through there. I lost about 45 minutes. But I've made contact with my destination and they are aware. So nothing really of any big concern other than it's just added time to my overall trip. Alright, so let's just hope that the remainder of this portion of the trip goes smoothly. I think it will. The weather's been great. The scenery is gorgeous. And hopefully you guys will appreciate the wait, because I know I will. Alright, see you soon. Alright folks, I am just about 5 minutes from reaching my destination, and I'm getting excited. Like I said, it's been a long trip. I'm a little worn from it, but nothing horrendous. And you know, it's going to take a little bit to get things sorted over here, a few minutes or so I guess, but the final result I think is going to be, well, I know for me is going to be very satisfying. I hope it will be for you guys. So hang tight, and when we get back, hopefully you'll see exactly what I'm talking about and appreciate what I'm sharing.
You've arrived. Destination is on your right.
Let's see. That's gotta be it. Yeah, there it is. I was lucky enough to find myself this replacement for the LEO. And believe it or not, this thing only has, let's see if you can see that there. Alright guys, there it is, on the trailer and on the way home. I have to say I got a great deal. I got a great bike. It's going to take a little bit of work, a little cleaning in the sense of the fuel system, clean the carbs, probably replace the fuel filter, and a couple other little simple things. But other than that, it's fantastic. So, was it worth it? You tell me. I think it was. I'm glad I have it. I'm so in love with this make and model that to have to start new with something else to replace it, I wouldn't have liked that. I would have never been completely comfortable. I lucked out. You know, I don't feel that I'm the type of guy that has a lot of great luck. I have good luck sometimes, but this was one of those moments that everything turned out just great. So I'm gonna pull this guy home, and once there, I'm gonna get him unloaded and start switching things around in the garage to make some room, and you'll see him again. Alrighty, I'll catch up with you guys shortly because I got a little story to tell. Alright guys, I am on the expressway again, heading back home to Illinois. It's going to be, well, this is the second half of the stretch here, so about 600 miles, and it's going to take me about 9 hours from this point, which is going to be interesting because I am exhausted. I think I got like 3 hours of sleep last night, and I was so excited about this whole thing. So again, I think it was worth it. I'm very excited. I have the same bike that I had before, and part of the story that I heard from the previous owner was that this may actually have been the last Yamaha YZF600 to be sold in the United States. Considering when it was bought and the process, it's very possible. I'm not going to make it official, but supposedly there was talk between Yamaha Japan and the dealership that sold this that caused that statement to be written, and who knows if it was being said in jest or if it was legitimate, but if it is, hey, wow, what a claim to fame. I will take care of it, trust me. With all of that said, I owe you guys a story, don't I? Like I said earlier, I cleared 100 subscribers earlier last month. Thank you all very much for that. I truly appreciate it. You guys help keep me going with putting videos together and coming up with ideas. I got a few other ideas floating around in my head that are going to come in the future, hopefully right after this one. But I have to get to how I came up with the name Nine-Toe Nelson, and I'm going to do that with some storytelling and some visuals that I'm going to put together for you. So back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was living in Chicago, working in Chicago, and was traveling to work, riding down a little section of Chicago on the north side, just tooting along, minding my own business. Everything was fine. It's a single lane road each direction, parallel parking on both sides, and actually kind of an old street in the sense that it wasn't a main artery, it wasn't very wide, wasn't heavily traveled by comparison, but still well traveled. And it was just just on the cusp of rush hour, the end of rush hour. And as I was approaching this intersection, at which there was a Starbucks on the southeast side, I remember distinctly having this thought in my mind: something's not right. Not that anything had happened, but it's just kind of maybe a precognitive thing. You know, I saw this coming. I don't know. Suddenly, this car that is parallel parked on the right side of the road, facing south, starts to pull out, and does so into me. From what I could gather, looking at the damage on that bike, which was my first YZF600R, piecing things together with where I landed and where the impact took place. The front end of the car, probably the front driver's side fender corner, struck my bike, and it caused my bike to slap the car and come to not an abrupt stop, but an abrupt slowing. I slid across the tank. I caught the windscreen, the two ends facing back, in my ribs, and that started me rotating. I remember silence, and then coming to a rest, staring up at the sky. I still hadn't realized what had happened at first, and after about a split second, I was like, oh, I just got hit by a car. And I did a quick mental inventory of any injuries. Like, okay, where do I feel pain? Now, on this day, I was not fully geared, and I'm ashamed to say so, but that's not what led to my injury. I had my helmet, I had leather jacket, leather gloves, leather boots. They were not riding boots, and jeans. After I landed, took that inventory, realized I had pain. I had pain on my right leg, basically from the knee down. Wasn't sure what was causing it. And people came to my aid. One thing I remember distinctly, a couple things I remember distinctly, but one in particular was a man's voice saying, "We got to get this guy out of the road." I had the impression he was just in a hurry for work. My response was, "If you touch me, I will sue you," because I had no idea what my injuries were, and I didn't want to aggravate any potential injuries. Then the other person who came to my aid, whom I distinctly recall, was this wonderful woman who said she had seen the whole thing. She was at the intersection right next to the Starbucks, and she told me that she was also a rider, and she was admiring my bike as I rode by. So she actually saw the accident occur. And she asked, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And I said to her, "Would you please move my bike out of the road?" Just put it up on the side stand, and had a little bag that I had attached to the bike. I asked if she could remove that and bring it to me, which she did. Someone had called the paramedics. Some guy also said he had seen the whole thing. I guess he was at Starbucks as well, or maybe just outside. And he told me that he saw me bounce off my head. I don't remember that. I don't remember having any sense that that had occurred. I don't recall seeing any damage to my helmet on the very top, but who knows. So the paramedics arrive, and of course they start asking me if I have any pain, if so, where. And by this time the pain had increased a great deal, and I had removed my helmet, and I told him I had pain on my leg. He says, "All right, we're going to have to cut open your jeans, take a look." I said, "Go right ahead." And they did. Nothing wrong with my leg. They said, "You got an abrasion, but everything looks fine. No cut, no apparent break or anything of that nature." "All right, great. Where else do you hurt?" "My foot." Now I looked down at my foot at this time, and I noticed that my boot, which was a Doc Martens, I think it was an 8 holes boot, the area of where your toes are was concave, and there was a gash going straight up it. So, same statement. "Well, we're going to have to cut them off." I said, "That's fine, go right ahead." Not like I was going to be able to save them anyway, right? And at this point, I had a bad feeling, so I decided I'm not going to watch. I'm just going to lay back and I'm going to look up in the sky at the nice fluffy clouds and try not to go into shock. So I do just that. And while I'm doing that, I'm hearing bystanders. And one woman says, "Oh my, that's a lot of blood." I didn't like hearing that because I didn't know what the cause was. And the next thing I'm feeling is the paramedic trying to gingerly remove my sock. Now, he had cut the socks to make it easier, but I guess because of the amount of blood, it was kind of sopped to my skin and there was a lot of surface tension. And I'm feeling, as he does this, the breeze on my wet foot, you know, suddenly got a lot cooler. And then I hear the paramedic go, I thought to myself, what does that mean? I don't like hearing from a paramedic. That's either pity or regret or who knows, but not something good, I'm sure. And the next thing I hear is the paramedic on the radio calling into the hospital stating that I have a severed digit. Again, things start running through my mind. What does he mean by severed? Is it completely separated? Is it dangling there? What does he mean by severed? And which one? So, loaded up into the ambulance, taken to the hospital, find out that my middle toe on my right foot sliced right off. Gone. You know, of course I asked, can it be reattached? No, too much damage. I've got 9 toes now. But the name didn't come then. So I had surgery, everything was repaired, everything was fine. I'm perfectly fine. Doesn't affect my ability to walk, run, anything like that. I can't count to 20, but it's a non-issue. If there's a toe to lose, I found out that that is the one. So after this event, I started running regularly, ran Chicago Marathon. It was a personal challenge because of all of the above, and no problems. But after that, I had still continued running and did a few little 5Ks or whatever, and a group of friends of mine got together to do one. And in the process, we decided to do group shirts. And we each got our nicknames on our shirt. Well, I didn't really have a nickname that was going to be used on that shirt. And we all kind of were brainstorming for new nicknames for everybody, the way I recall. And somebody said, Nelson Nine Toes. And we used it. I didn't like the way it sounded, and I just later changed it to Nine Toe Nelson. And here we are. So, my logo, if you hadn't noticed, 2 feet, it's anatomically correct. That's how it looks. So there's my story. That's how the name of Nine Toe Nelson came to be. And just the whole situation is interesting that it happened the way that it did. And you know, nowadays, for a long time, I've always liked to walk around in sandals, as any of you who know me know. And I love when I catch someone looking at my feet with a quizzical look, because they're trying to figure out what the deal is. I wear a band type sandal, not the type your toes slip into. And whenever I see that, somebody looking down, I spread my toes a little bit, and is the response I often get. It's very, very humorous, for me at least. Alright folks, I hope you appreciated that story. I hope you appreciate the visuals I put together for it. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask. I don't mind talking about it one bit. And if you care to provide any similar stories or want to share a comment about it, hey, do it in the comment section down there. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, while you're down there, or even if you don't go to put in a comment, please do subscribe. I obviously appreciate it, and I want to be able to know that you know, a lot of you guys that are out there watching my videos really do appreciate my channel. There's a great deal of people who watch my videos, but not everyone is a subscriber. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps me out. It definitely tells the algorithm that I'm someone that puts out videos that people appreciate, and I would really like to have that happen. I want to make this channel grow. So that, again, would be greatly appreciated. And while you're at it, if you want to know about any upcoming videos, hit the notification bell. That way you will be notified when a new video is released. You'll be one of the first people to know after me. All right, thanks again, guys, for taking some time out of your day to watch this video. Again, I appreciate it greatly. I will be continuing to make more. If you have any suggestions for something you would like to see with respect to a how-to or a particular part of Illinois that you would like to have me travel to, get some nice scenic shots, let me know. I'll do my best to accommodate. I have a number of plans for similar ideas. So that said, I'm going to end this one like I always do. Please remember to ride safe, ride smart, and have fun.